What's it been like?
You've been doing this for a long time. Now having such great new music, bringing the new songs out to the crowd, the reception, what it's been like for you to play these new songs, what's the reception been like with the new material?
Tour's been good, reception's been good. People listen hard to the new songs. I can tell when I'm singing the lyrics if they're hanging on them right, and they are, I'm glad to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a great tour so far.
Mm-hmm. Do you find your fans have that ability of someone who knows your music and listens to every word, that people pay attention, and that's part of the gratifying thing as a songwriter, knowing that people are going to hang on to those lyrics?
Well, you know, Adam, whenever a new record comes out, I can tell by the response how good the songs are. When I'm singing the lyric, if I can feel the audience is coming with me on every turn and twist of the lyric, I know I've got a good song. Sometimes I write albums and I sing the new songs and I don't quite get the result I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
But this time, I'm pleased to say, it's good.
Well, you must have known even when you're putting pen to paper, when you're in the studio, that this was something special with this record. When does that kind of click, or when you have an inkling?
Well, when I'm writing songs, I try to suspend that judgmental or critical part, that particular perspective. I don't want it interfering with the songwriting. So it's later in the process that I begin to figure out whether a song really makes the cut. Mm-hmm. I suppose when I'm demoing it, maybe, or when I'm sometime between demoing it and making it with the band. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
you're someone, though, whose songs a lot of the demos end up getting released down the line because the material is so strong. I know fans clamor for that.
Not very often these days, no.
Talk about this record in particular, going into this one, what the intent was, what was your kind of goal? I know you did this differently, you did this here in Nashville, and what was the goal going in?
Well, I wanted to make it as great as I could. I wanted it to be a record with a performance heart. I don't mean recording it live, but I mean playing as live in the studio. I wanted everybody playing together at the same time with good eye contact. And I wanted an American feel. So I recorded in America, and I brought lots of great American musicians into the studio, because I felt that's what the songs wanted. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
now bringing I think a lot of the same musicians are not the same ones on the road with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
3 Americans in the band. We're a 50% American band now.
What's that like for you? Talk about just the Waterboys as an entity, because the band's changed over the years, and it's been you and Steve for almost all of that, if not the whole way through. Yeah. But you've had other guys coming through. If you could just put into words what the Waterboys means at this point in 2015.
Well, it means the same as it did when we first started out, which was a floating lineup, an ever-changing lineup in a band that would play an ever-changing music, and that's what it's been. And I don't know whether I should be proud of this, but we've had more members than any other band in the history of rock, more than Santana even. And the current lineup is, I think it's perhaps the very best that we've ever had.
Mm-hmm. What's it like for you as an artist, someone who's been around a while, to know that at this point in your career, you might be writing the best music of your career and you have the best lineup, as you say? It must be a great feeling. You're doing something right.
It is a good feeling, but I may feel one way about it. It's a different thing about how the world feels about it. And as an artist who's been around for a long time, it gets harder and harder to overturn the weight of the past music. There's a sort of gravitational pull of the old music that the audience is particularly attached to, or the critics are attached to. And it's been a long time now that every record I put out gets compared to Fisherman's Blues and This Is the Sea. And if I make a good record, people say it's the best since Fisherman's Blues. David Bowie has the same problem. It's always the best since Scary Monsters, or the Stones get the best since Some Girls. It's the weight of one's own past. And even if I make a record that's better than any record I've ever made before, and this one might be that, I think it would take a long time for people to come around to think that. I think only a distance of 5-7 years is going to prove it. Mm-hmm.
Do you let that seep inside you? Is that something you care about, or do you just knowing that you put out the best record you've ever done, is that good enough for you and you keep moving forward?
Well, I don't even know until 7 years later.
Yeah. Talk about the fans that come to the shows, though, because when you hear them yelling out Hole of the Moon or something halfway through a set, and you know you're going to get to that, but you're playing the new music, and what's that like for you as an artist to know that people want to hear those things, but your mind's, maybe even on the next record, you're writing things down for what's coming next? How do you reconcile that?
Do you know, people shouting out for songs, they shout out because they love the songs.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. So I don't really mind. Also, I've got some history in this, because I've gone to gigs and shouted out for songs, not always with good intention as well.
Yeah.
I once went to an art rock guitar players gig in New York at the Irving Plaza. It was very angular, fusiony music. This guy was, I think he was influenced by Robert Fripp and people, and he's playing this hugely cerebral, intellectual music. And me and my friend said, we didn't come through the punk wars to suffer that. And we went down the front, and in between songs we would shout out for Louie Louie or Hang On Sloopy, just to bring things back to basics.
Yeah.
So I deserve anything that the audience throws at me.
Yeah,
It's my karma.
You mentioned the punk rock wars. At the heart of what you're doing, is there still that sensibility? Is there still that old time rock and roll punk rock sensibility to everything you do? Do you still feel that?
Well, it's in there. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be part of the Waterboys palette. Same as Celtic folk music is, even if it's not in the front of the music, like it's not at the moment, but it's always in there. It's in the background. Just like punk rock and classic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you enjoy life on the road? How used to this are you? How much is this part of your life, that the rock and roll kind of troubadour on the road and playing the gigs? Is this that in your blood? Does this feel natural, normal to you?
Oh yeah, it's my job, man. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I've got more and more tricks for how to deal with it, how to maintain my energy, how to structure my day so that I've the maximum energy for the show. I won't waste any energy. If I can save it for the show, I will.
Yeah. What are some of the pre-show rituals you do? Is there anything that you do that's unique to you that you've learned over the years in terms of certain thing you drink, or do you do yoga? Is there anything that what's a Mike Scott backstage like?
Do you know, I've done it for so long now that I have to do very little.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the zone almost automatically. But there are a few little things. I will think a few things, and if I've a new song in the set, I'll make sure I go over the lyrics while I'm walking around during the day, so I know them on stage. And I warm up my voice. I have to remember to warm up my voice for a few minutes before the show. Sometimes I forget.
Right.
And I realise I'm walking on stage, I haven't warmed up my voice. I always get through it somehow.
Right. Are you always writing? Are you always thinking about what's next? Are you someone who's always jotting things down?
I might jot things down at any time, but I won't do any serious writing when I'm on the road. I'll save the few ideas that I'll come up with. I'll save them until I get home.
Are you already thinking about what's next when this tour ends? Do you have a plan for next year? Or?
Well, this tour runs right through to the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think about recording the next record, probably with this band.
Yeah.
Maybe in Nashville again. That's where my thinking's going.
And like we talked about before, in terms of your place kind of in rock history, because you've been around long enough to think about those kind of things, and people say wonderful things, and this album's getting such great reviews across the board. Do you let yourself kind of revel in that place where people are looking at you as one of the great songwriters of your time, and this has been one of the best bands at the time, and do you let yourself think about that kind of stuff?
I do think about that kind of stuff, but not maybe in the way you're suggesting. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm fed up because I'm staying at the Sunset Marquee. There's no photos of me or the Waterboys there. All the other lads are there, but we're not. And so I've got some ground still to cover.
Is it nice knowing you can go out there though and win an audience over, and there could be new people in the audience who've never seen a Waterboy show, and by the end of the night?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I never doubt the power of the music to pull in new people.
Right. When you see kids at a show, what's that like for you? Because I'm sure young people come to the show and...
I absolutely love it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What do you listen to these days?
Well, I listen to a lot of contemporary music, and I listen to a lot of old soul music, actually. For me, the golden era is from about 65 to 70. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Of new artists, I like Matthew E. White a lot. He's from Virginia. He's really cool.
Okay. And at the end of a show like tonight, what goes through your mind? If it's a good night, what are you thinking about when you're walking off the stage?
When I'm walking off the stage, if it's a really great night, I'm a bit like, do you know the fairground where you hit the thing, and if you hit it hard enough, it rings the bell?
Sure.
I'm a bit like that bell. If it's a really great show, I'll say to the band, that's what I call a fucking gig. That's what I'll be saying when I come off stage if it's great.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll all be saying that tonight.
I hope so.
Yeah. Real pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.